Hello, welcome to my channel, Redeeming Thunder. For those who are waiting for their ordained spouse to enter their lives, Yahuah has delivered some more insight. Now, this prophetic word that I'm going to be giving you is of several days of collection. And so, I recall receiving some prophetic word that where he is, part of the prophetic word for the ordained spouse has a lot to do with him moving you. He's placing Eve in front of Adam. So he's, such as Genesis 2:22, okay? We are in the divine number 222, which is miracles, signs, and wonders. And one of those wonders is a lightning bolt. There's a prophetic word that I gave, and it's in my channel, and I recommend that you watch that one. And I have another prophetic word that goes with that. It has a lot to do with the ordained spouse as well. So, but this you're going to want to listen to, because where he is taking you to, it is connected to where and how your ordained spouse is going to find you. So listen very carefully. Get in the secret place. Be in prayer. Have a relationship with your Father in heaven. And he is going to tell you where to go. Because a lot of these prophetic words are sort of meshing together. And so he is going to create the moment when you two cross the paths. Then he's going to create the moment, and it has to match and where he stated first prior to you where it's going to be. If he said it was at a coffee shop, specific coffee shop, well then be ready. Okay? If he says if you have this inkling, this unction that you need to go to a certain store, or you need to move to a certain town, to a certain city, to a certain house even, do that exact, take action, and actually allow yourself to be on the receiving end of these miracles, okay? You're going to have to, obviously, if it was moving, you're going to have to pack up, you're going to have to grab the boxes, you're going to have to do this and that, and it's work. But it's gonna the benefits outweigh the cost and the work of it. Okay, there is prophetic word of moving to the promised land, moving to a land of inheritance, moving to a location where you have availability to buy a house, etc., etc. But this word, that's part of it, is embracing these prophetic words and actually taking action. Okay, now on the 20th I was listening to a prophetic word, and she was talking about how the future ordained spouse was glitching in and out of the scene. So she receives visions, right? And I was listening to it not knowing it was going to be something similar to what I had seen in a dream, okay, for this individual, this woman. And so that is in fact true. What's going to happen is he's going to create a scenario where either online or in person, he is going to start to notice, okay, that you exist. Okay, he's gonna, Yahuah is planting it in him to search you out. And so it's also, her phone out of nowhere started glitching this song that pertained to what she was talking about. It was like supernatural phenomenon. And then she's like, oh my gosh, that scared me, because it just turned on. I don't know, it was just sitting on, she was in her car, and it just turned on, and it was sitting all on its own over there on the other seat. but it was like glitching in and out, like it was sort of glitchy, okay? And then I was, in that same moment, I said, oh my goodness, I had a prophetic, my son was with me, okay? The older son that receives prophetic dreams, okay, the 8-year-old. And I said, I received, when she was talking, I was talking, I said, I received a vision regarding an individual seeing a future ordained spouse scenario glitching in and out while rowing in a boat. He was rowing. So that is in a different video that I'm going to share with more detail. But rowing has to do where he's adamantly working towards his future with you, okay? And so besides that, I said there's something interesting. There's something interesting as well, because I had a different prophetic dream regarding noticing one another, okay, from afar. And he's like, wait a minute, because we were in line to get some food, and we were in the drive-through of McDonald's, and he's like, look at that sign. And then I'm like, what? And I look over, and the humongous M on the wall of the building was glitching. Okay? So I was like, oh my goodness, that is interesting that is occurring. And so what's going on is Yahuah is accelerating the situation. And he does so because the future ordained spouse is also, he will become aware of who you are. And when he does, he's going to run. He's sprinting towards his future with you, okay? And so he's giving a time frame, hallelujah, for all of you who are waiting for your future ordained spouse, of when this whole glitching in and out of your life, okay? But he's giving a time frame. And he gave this word to me on 2/20/2025. And I'll provide that at the very end. That time frame. It is in this year. And whenever you watch this video, even if you watch it 7 years from now, okay, and you are waiting for your future ordained spouse, it is going to be in that time frame, okay? So, this is what other revelations provided, that I want to note that he gave me this prophetic word on 2/22/2025. So that's 4 2s. Okay, that's significant right there. And then also, there is a song that Yahuah has been giving me on the 23rd and also on the 24th of February 2025 that I keep hearing in my mind. Okay, I don't really listen to this song very often. You know, I've heard it on and off. I had an appointment, and when I went to the bathroom, there was music playing, and that was a song playing. I believe on the 23rd, and then I forgot about it. Or it probably could have been the 22nd, and then I forgot about it. And these past couple of days, I even woke up to that song in my mind, and I only had this tiny little phrase, and I never really paid a lot of attention to the lyrics until today. I decided to be like, you know what, I'm going to listen to the song and see what Yahuah is trying to say here, of why this song pertains to this word, okay? And once you listen to it, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, this is what the future ordained spouse is feeling. And in this time frame I'm going to give you at the very end, this is how he's going to be feeling, okay? There was a prophetic word, a dream that I had, a very short dream, where I saw a woman, and then future ordained spouse for that woman. They were standing, and out of nowhere, when he walked up to her, like he went like close to her, and he went like if he was smelling her. And then I woke up from that dream. So there's this aroma, this supernatural attraction, this chemistry that's occurring supernaturally, even when you guys are not in the same room or even in the same city, maybe. Okay, this is serious. And it's all orchestrated by the Most High. It's all orchestrated by your Heavenly Father. He is connecting you to, so it's going to be like a magnetic force. Okay, and I will show you in the song, because the song is like stating every single stage that Yahuah has been downloading for me to provide this word for you all. It's in that song. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder you wanted me to pay attention and play the song. Okay, now he has a prophetic word for you. And this word was given to me on 2/22/2025. Suddenly, Yahuah says to me, he wants to simplify the situation. So as I was falling asleep, okay, I really want to go to sleep already. It's late, right? I hear this and perceive, I hear it within. He wants to simplify the situation. And then he says, the matter of fact, my daughter. I'm going to break it down afterwards, okay? And then he says, say this. Say this to them. He's come out to get you. He's come out to get you. He's come out to get you. He said it 3 times. So I'm going to break it down now on those 3 segments. The matter of fact that is that he knows his divorce is final. So some of you are experiencing a situation where you are Esthers and the Vashtis are being dethroned in this hour. It is not a scenario where the one was single and then single because of being a widow. This is the scenario he's showing me, that there's going to be a conflict. There's going to be a situation where they're going to realize they're with the counterfeit. Okay, there's a revelation that's to come about. And they're going to be with that person anymore due to that conflict. But then later on, they're understanding that Yahuah has someone for them. Okay? So, after he says that, that's the matter of fact. Then he says, he's come out to get you. When I researched the definition in the Cambridge English Dictionary for come out, it means to be in a certain condition or to achieve something at the end of a process or activity. So basically, he's come out of that holding place, that counterfeit relationship, to be with his true love. There's some downloads that Yahuah is telling him, either through a prophetic word, either through an unction, either through other revelations, either through just, he knows that whatever is going on cannot be no more. Just like King Xerxes couldn't hold on to that relationship any further on with Queen Vashti. Okay, read Esther chapter 4. I believe it's in chapter 4, if you want to dig a little deeper on that. And I am not cheering on divorces in this hour, so don't get confused with that. I am just the messenger providing the insight that Yahuah is stating in this hour. That he's setting up people for end times kingdom marriages. Okay, then he says, sapa sap. So when I research what sapa means, it means he is resolving things to clear the way to prepare life with his future ordained spouse, the woman. He has gone through a tornado storm with strong winds. He has come to the edge of things, the edge of reeds. So this is phenomenal. The way that Yahuah is breaking this down, it's just is like, he is very detailed. Do you want to understand what the edge of reeds is? Have you ever heard that terminology? No, I've never heard it either. So sup means from the reeds comes papyrus. Going through the reeds, and you're just like, I'm not in the jungle. I'm not in, the Reed Sea. I'm not in that land. No, listen. Like the place of reeds, which in turn could be construed as a technical term for a place of learning, a library full of papyri. You're like, wait, I just don't get it. No, listen. Abba is stating in so many ways that he has allowed him to somehow come across your social media, your channel, or your Facebook, or some of your friends, maybe some of your family members come across, okay? And he is trying to find information about you. He's asking about you. And he's trying to get close to you. He's trying to connect, even though maybe you guys are not connecting on, like, crossing paths all the time, okay? In person. And then what? He is learning about you. That's what it means about learning, like the place of reeds, a library full of papyri, okay? From the reeds comes papyrus. When he came to the edge of things, to the edge of the reeds, that means he has pretty much gathered a bunch of insight, like the whole library. He took the time to not get other people's interpretation, ideals of you, but he got his own of you. With facts. Okay? He is no longer in the dark about you. He has been enlightened. Okay. So then I'm falling asleep at this hour. Okay, I'm really tired. And all of a sudden, Yahuah says in the sub day. So that's when I fall asleep, and that's when I hear, a whisper of usually it's Angel Uriel downloading another insight, okay? And he says, I'm at the hospital giving birth right now. And I'm like, what? What do you mean by that? And so what he means by that is the esters, the ones waiting for their future ordained spouse, okay? Specifically talking about the esters in this hour, are birthing the promise right now. It is happening right now. So when you say right now, sometimes it's still a month or two away from right now, okay? So we're in February right now, end of February. When he's saying right now, I'm going to give you the time frame of when all of this has been enlightened, has gotten his own feedback directly from you, not from other people's opinions. Okay? Then Yahuah says, Ayin Yasoma. Now this means because of Ayin Yasoma, he says to focus on the future that Abba has for you. The Ayin Yasoma means the eye of Yahuah is upon the matter. He wants to show you your future And it's helpful with these prophetic words, okay? Then, the hand of Yahuah is upon this matter. And the breath of Yahuah is upon this future ordained spouse. Union. Abba is blowing breath of life into the ordained spouse unions. Hallelujah. Okay, now he says, life is about to change drastically. And so when I researched what does drastically, like what could, if you could explain the word drastically to help everybody understand how rapidly it's going to be. Now coming soon, okay? It means at a rapid rate, things are going to accelerate, supernaturally speed up the timeline. Very quickly, a monumental change. It means a significant and sudden shift is on the horizon. You know, you can see the horizon, you can see the sun set. That is how close it is. Okay. Indicating a major alteration in your current circumstance, lifestyle, or perspective, potentially impacting many aspects of your life in a notable way. It could be a positive change. And then Yahuah says, beyond measure. So he says, life is about to change drastically, beyond measure. So then I researched, what does beyond measure mean? Indicates something that is immeasurably too large, extensive, or extreme to calculate. So Abba, your father, is trying to help you to absorb this right now. Because what is coming is like, so like monumental that he wants you to be able to breathe. He's going to breathe breath of life within what's happening while it's happening. So we're humans, right? I mean, we're supernatural, but we're humans. So he understands that maybe for him, he can handle all this drastic and astronomical speed, but for regular humans, we're just going to be like, woo, you know, like roller coaster, you know, like crazy. So like, it's going to be great, good changes. Okay. So, and so this is going on. He is witnessing facts. Maybe in his own personal life, witnessing facts. The king. Okay. Maybe indefinitely in your life, he's witnessing facts. Okay, this also confirms with the word sup, the prophetic Hebrew word sup. So again, it is talking about papyrus is like a floppy disk. Okay, it is like almost like a biography, almost like looking at your Facebook or looking at a biography, like almost like a channel. And if you use this channel to like explain things, some of your personality, some of your own beliefs and etc., it comes forth, right? Okay, so wow, this is prophetic. Okay, there's literally a thunderstorm happening right now with lightning and high winds. Okay, so my husband sent me a text earlier, but I really wanted to do this last video so to get it all done, so I can feel like I'm on timely basis. Okay, because this is very timely. And what this word is talking about, something of what relates to the outdoor weather. Okay, so sup comes to the, it means coming to the end or the edge of things, opening his eyes, understanding his role, understanding everything. Everything is eye-opening and it's revealing, it's downloading. Okay, so basically, prophetic word, Genesis 2:22, the prophetic word given 2:22:25. It's when he is awakened from a slumber. So Yahuah is waking him up, and he is looking and now knows who you are. Now knows, like 1,000%. Can we just say it like that? Okay, this is key right here. Then Yahuah says, he supplicates you. And I ask, supplicates? And he says, yes, supplicates. And when I research what is supplicates, so we can get a real definition on this, okay? Of course I know what supplicates means, but I want to get like a dictionary, Webster.com definition. It means that he is humbly and earnestly asking you for something, essentially begging or pleading with you. Often in a prayer-like manner, it implies a deep request for help or favor. To ask humbly, earnestly of. To ask for earnestly and humbly. Supplication is from the Merriam-Webster.com. Now he says, he hopes you win him. You wind him. And I'm like, he hopes you blow life into him? And he says, you are as a person, or excuse me, who you are as a person is life unto people. You breathe life unto people. He needs breath of life. So when he said he hopes you wind him, I thought that was so astounding. He's using the word ruach. So the spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, that lives in you, he needs that breath blowing. Just you being yourself, in other words, just you being who you are is breath of life to everybody else around you. People need you. It's not the same without you. It's not the same. It's, boring or lonely or unlively. Okay? It's not that funny or whatever. If I want to give it, I want to give an example of what someone told me. One time I was gone for leave, for a maternity leave, and when I came back, my coworker was so happy that I came back to work, and I was like, why? Like there's a bunch of other people here, and everybody was so happy that I was back, and they're like, man, it hasn't been the same without you. You bring life into this place. You're funny, and I did have these funny stories that were kind of embarrassing and just life and, sharing my supernatural diaries a little bit with them, all the battles. There's a bunch of spiritual warfare. And I was like, not taking a defeat for an answer. And that came with some, feisty, maybe sarcasm. And I was like, felt appreciated, I guess, because I didn't know that I brought something to the table. I thought, they can get some jokes, or I'm not saying that you have to be a jokester, but they can get those. And it's like other like, I worked for a college, so a bunch of traffic coming in at sometimes, and there was like students that would come in and be like so glad that I was at the front greeting and able to like embrace and just have a little chit chat and be able to like welcome them. It was different. It's different when you have the light. It's not, when you have, the Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, living within. It's different. You bring this ambiance. You bring this, if you are just kind of smiley, kind of outgoing. I'm not that. I'm kind of more introvert, but of course, there's times where I'm outgoing, right? Anyway, so I just wanted to give you a visual of how someone would give you a compliment like that. So that's who you are to people, to many. And you know what? One more example that I really, really loved. My nephew, Hanovi, one day he was like, when is it going to be like before? When you and my mommy and all of us hung out together. And of course I miss them and I love them, but you know, sometimes there's scenarios that come to play, and I was like, I'm like, why? Because it's not the same. He's like, no, it's not the same. And that when we were hanging out together, that was around the time I was showing them, you know, the festivals, Yahuah's festivals, his appointed times, his holidays, and we were having, you know, potlucks and stuff like that, and we were going to the parks, and they were coming over, and it was just like they were happy. They were happy, happier that I was in their life. So I thought, oh, that was so kind to hear those comments. Okay, so many people have told you have been receiving those comments. That's what I'm trying to say. So then he says, Yahuah says, life that grows under the apple tree. And I'm just like, what does this mean? Okay, so then I type that in, what does this mean? And then it brings up this beautiful verse in Solomon 2:3. I sat down in his shade with great delight, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. The spouse knew her beloved to be like a fruit-bearing tree, and at once she sat down in his shade and fed on his fruit. So you are going to be enduring this beautiful, beautiful relationship, being covered under his branches, it seems like. Okay? Is somewhat of. The bride in the song as good as says, I am certain that my beloved casts a shadow, for I have sat under it, and I am persuaded that he bears sweet fruit, for I have tasted it. And the best way of demonstrating the power of Yahuah is to trust in him and to be yourself saved by him. And of all those who are sure of the divinity of our holy faith, there are none so certain that those who feel its divine power on themselves. Life under an apple tree, metaphorically speaking, signifies a life of simplicity, peace, and contentment, drawing on the symbolism of the apple tree as a source of nourishment and beauty, often associated with the paradise of Eden, the Garden of Eden. So it all ties together, full circle of the first chapter. She's in the Garden of Eden, right? So, and then I said, oh my goodness, does this mean you're going to experience the supernatural power of love so sweet, trust, support, and nourishment given by your husband, your future ordained spouse husband. And he casts a shadow of protection. I said, is it kind of like Yahuah is giving your husband on earth to experience how he's a husband because Yahuah is your husband from heaven, right? So I asked, are you doing something for these ordained spouses that qualifies as you showing them how you would be a husband, obviously in a loving, nurturing, supernatural manner, right? But like relationship with your husband, your future husband on earth. And he says yes. He said something like that. Okay, so then I was falling asleep again at that time. It's really late now. Okay, it's getting close to like 2 a.m. And then sub days. So as I'm falling asleep, I hear something. That's when I call it sub days, because in the subconscious days, as I'm falling asleep, okay, I hear, we got very tired. So in other words, he says, we got very tired. He says the word we. He's including himself of how you're feeling. And I don't think he just means because it's 2 a.m. I think he means there might be something going on that the enemy's trying to make you tired, make you distracted with so much fatigue, so that you don't notice the appointed times at stake. So we have to make sure that you break those barriers in the name of Yahushua, okay? Because you're going to get to your destiny in the name of Yahushua. And then also he says, open your eyes. And he means his eyes, what he sees in your future. Okay, then he says, Alma sana. And he says, and Alma means of marriageable age. Doesn't mean, it means virgin or non-virgin. It means with children or no children. Widow or single. Okay? Then he said, sana, in this year. And then I said, in this year, so I'm trying to get an idea of what to provide, a time frame for everyone. He says, yes, it's sooner than August, because I gave a prophetic word regarding August time frame is when it was a prophetic word that matches this other prophetic dream that he says, it is of the age. And then she then says, not on the same day though, but she says, dang, it's time. That was that sleep. It's like trying to, maybe she was in her rest, which is good when you're trusting Yahuah. But if there's an attack of like trying to be too tired, where you're not going to be preparing because you're too exhausted, and that's an attack on your destiny. Okay. And that was around the time frame where I stated in August, but it's actually Yahuah has been stating it's sooner than August. So it's sooner than how many months from now? August. So if he gave this prophetic word now in February, 6 months, it's sooner than 6 months. There's an acceleration beyond, drastically. Remember he said that? Beyond measure. Remember he said that? Okay, so he says, he comes as lightning. He comes. Your ordained spouse. He's talking about your ordained spouse. He comes. He comes. He comes. He said 3 times. He comes now, my daughter. I said, and I'm like, internally, I'm like, now? He said, yes, now. And then he said 2 months. So you guys wanted the time frame, right? And so what he's saying is, those are going to be experiencing where he's glitching in and out, that whole glitching in and out stage, okay? Where I'll share that prophetic dream in another video. And it has, just remember when I said rowing in a boat and there was a willow tree, okay? He's glitching in and out of your, in and out within, okay? It begins in April. So it begins 2 months. Remember he said 2 months? So whatever you see this, if you see this in April, it's not in April, it's 2 months from then. Okay? So of him just kind of presenting himself in your life. Okay? Hallelujah. So the song that he was playing over and over in my mind for 2 days after this prophetic Rema word. Handmade. Okay, there's an attraction, like a supernatural attraction of extreme chemistry. Sincere, pure love as well. Not saying he's going to love everything about you, okay? So when he says in my room, he's going to have your aroma, fragrance. That's what I mean. Okay? Okay, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed this prophetic word. We got through this thunderstorm, and I will see you on the next, because that video you're not going to want to miss. These are details that Yahuah is getting you to your destiny. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and join me on the next video. Shalom.